Hello, I am Katie MacIntyre from Generations Bank, and I'm here in studio at fingerlakes1.com. And today we thought we'd switch things up a bit, and so I'm in the interview chair where, Jim Seneca usually would be. And so Jim and his fingerlakes1.com team were honored last night when they received the Seneca County Chamber of Commerce Small Business of the Year Award at the annual membership barbecue at the dairy at Miranda Cheese. So Jim, congratulations to you and your fingerlakes1.com team.
Yay, yeah, it was awesome. It's nice to get an award like that, and I don't think about stuff like that too often, but once we were there and we got the award, it was a great night. And Senator Pam Helming gave us a beautiful proclamation and framed and a nice plaque, and so many of our clients were there congratulating us, and it was a really good night. It's a really nice honor.
That's awesome. It was a really tough lineup. Great competition you had for that honor with Bottomless Brewing and Phoebe's Canine Resort, CV Designs, and the Seneca Falls Historical Society. So, lots of great nominees.
Yeah, and it got me to thinking, because you always prepare something to say in case you win. I didn't write anything down, but I was just kind of thinking about what I might say if we had won. And of course, by the time you get up there, you get a little nervous and you might skip a few things. But the theme that I was thinking about that particular group, especially with Phoebe's Canine Resort, the Bottomless Brewing, and CV Designs, Christine Van Duzen, was that those are three businesses that someone had a passion for something, whether it was dogs or jewelry design and fashion and brewing beer, and they turned it into a viable business. And I thought that was pretty cool, and that's really what I did when I started this. Was I had a passion for publishing, and so I thought that was a pretty cool theme. And you're right, they're all amazing businesses, and Phoebe's to be able to build the facility they did and have a successful business in such a short amount of time. I remember when I heard about that, I thought that seems kind of crazy. But it's not that she knew what she was doing. Jamie knew what she was doing, and Christine I've known for a while, and she's always had a lot of talent, and I always appreciated her talent. But then when she decided to actually move to a storefront, again, you're like, geez, I wonder if she can make a go of that. But she certainly has, and to both those businesses, to the benefit of everybody, in town here in Seneca Falls, and Christine, a big benefit to downtown. And of course, Bottomless Brewing is awesome to have with the way that the craft brewing industry is going. And Seneca Falls Historical Society's just been around since the 1800s, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a little hidden gem in Seneca Falls.
Yeah, it is. It's cool amazing what's in there. Ghosts, too. There's ghosts in there.
Yeah, I heard that last night. I want to go on the ghost tour. So let's meet some of the members of your team, Jim.
Well, sure. The weird thing about us, or that some people don't know. A lot of our web development customers don't know all the media publishing we do, the news and the podcasting, and then a lot of people who follow us online at Finger Lakes One for the news and information don't know that we develop websites. So there's really two sides to the business, and on the news side we have Josh Durso heading up things, and on the web development side, our lead developer Tom has been with us now for 14 years. How many years, Tom?
12 years now.
Yeah, 12 years. So yeah, Tom certainly has seen his share of built his share of websites and worked with his share of a wide variety of customers, which is another great thing about what we do here. It never gets boring, because we work with so many different kinds of businesses, and we get to learn about so many different ways to do business, and that's pretty cool. So it never gets boring. But Tom's the one who certainly heads all that up.
Well, it's been a long time of designing different things. That's the main reason I do it, so I can learn new stuff all the time. I know way too much about dental prosthetics. I know way too much about breweries and wineries, and I don't drink. So yeah, it's a fun process.
So I was going to ask each of you, so I'll ask you first, Tom, if you have a favorite memory or a favorite client project or a story or something from your 12 years with fingerlakes1.com.
Favorite? Probably
most
my favorite.
Memorable?
Most memorable was probably the process of doing the county website, the Seneca County website. It's a beast. It still is a beast. It's never going to stop being a monstrous site, and it just continues to grow, and trying to find something on there is always fun.
So many departments,
Yeah,
each with their own specific needs.
We had, when we did convert it, we had an intern from Oswego briefly, and I put that kid through hell, transferring
Maybe he'll watch
page,
this and go, "Oh, I remember that."
page and
Good old
page.
days.
Brock is still working in the industry, so it didn't put him off.
It's good. It's good.
I don't
But,
think he's gonna
people
do
rely
data
on
entry.
websites. Don't think I go a day without Googling something or going to a website to get information that I need. It's a really important thing that you're doing for the businesses and the community.
And you need it. Most people don't realize what's involved with their websites and think they can just throw something up and that'll be it. You really need to put more effort into what's on there and keep it up and running.
And when we started building websites, obviously we didn't have to worry, since we've been around now for 18 years, we didn't worry about mobile phones back when we started.
Sure.
People had flip phones, if that. It was really the proliferation of like cell
Well, they're
phones.
still plugging their phone cord in to get the connection, right?
Yeah, it was nothing like it is now, but it's about 5 years ago we really started to have to shift our focus to now, to the point where you have to almost be thinking mobile first, because on our own site, fingerlakes1.com, we're at a point now where mobile traffic has outpaced desktop traffic, which I would have never thought in a million years, that something like that would happen. But yeah, now everything we do has to be designed for multiple screens. And back in the old days, we just worried about browser size,
Sure.
monitor size, and browser compatibility. So now we still have to worry about that, but now we have to worry about mobile responsiveness and things like that. So that's certainly been a big change, but we've adapted, and it's fun. You have to react if you're in this industry, because things
Absolutely.
change pretty quick.
So who else do we have from your team?
Well, we have Josh Durso. Young Josh just came on the scene. He has a passion for news, and I could sense that almost immediately. And so once he came on board, I think not to speak for him, but I think he got excited that all of a sudden there was this platform where we could do anything we wanted to in terms of how we report the news and what we report. And so it was really, I think, initially a way for him to scratch his itch, but he's become really valuable, obviously, to us. And I think now most people around know who he is. When you say Josh Durso, they think, oh, he's the news guy.
Yes.
So
The news guy, yeah. Yeah, it's the passion. I love the news, but I really like the void that we fill between Rochester and Syracuse, because that is the whole thing. Sure, there's the creative side of having this platform where we can do practically anything with, but it's also the idea that we fill a space that is essentially unfilled as far as the digital side goes. And really, you talk about what is that big memory. Well, for me, it's every time there's a breaking story or something big happens, we'll be talking as we're producing whatever that news piece is, and we'll both be watching. Jim and I will both be watching the traffic numbers, and we'll both be watching how people are responding to the content we're creating. And that is the memory, and it's repeated. It's great because it happens usually once every couple weeks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
a really big story where
Yep.
we can see the traffic spike on our site, and then see, oh wow, there's 112 people coming from our Facebook post, and there's another 30 coming from Twitter, and then
Yep.
there's another 80 coming organically. So that type of real-time analytics makes it fun. You're not just guessing. You put something up that you think is going to go well and be popular, and immediately you get to see how right or wrong
It's
you
kind
were.
of like the Facebook post I made last night about you winning the award, and got lots of
Your
shares.
timing was great. It was absolutely perfect timing.
So lots of good kudos and visibility for all of you.
Yeah, and thanks for doing that too, because
Well, when you're getting an award, it's hard to take a picture of yourself,
Yeah.
so you need friends and colleagues to do that for you.
I got in the car and we were driving home, and yeah, I was driving, so I didn't look, but my wife on her phone said, "Oh, look at this," and it was already there was already such a response to us winning that award, which was pretty cool, and it was mostly on your post, and Senator Pam Helmy made a nice post, so yeah, it's really cool, and that's how it is nowadays. So we produce news, on our site, but you can't discount the fact that what happens on social media is also kind of the new way that news gets out. So sometimes we're reacting to things that break on social media as opposed to being the ones that break it. So it's a different type of deal nowadays, and it is what it is. So I'm not complaining about it or saying one's better than the other. It just is interesting how some people today really feel like, oh, I get all my news from Facebook. So we have to be on Facebook. Our content has to be pushed out to Facebook in order to get people to see some of our content that
Sure.
ordinarily wouldn't. So it's interesting, the change.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, Jim, if you could give advice to a younger you, your younger self, what would you tell yourself?
Oh, find a nice job somewhere, collect a paycheck, pension, retire at 55, be a gym teacher maybe. But no, seriously, this has been, being able to do this has been beyond my wildest dreams. But if I knew how difficult it is to run a business, especially I think this type of business, I think all businesses are tough. And like I said off the top, with the web development, I've met a lot of other business owners, and some of them I marvel at how easy they make it look. Some of them I relate to as to how much it's a daily grind and struggle. But I don't think I would do too much different, other than maybe I have a tendency, or always have had a tendency, to just see what I wanted to create and kind of throw caution and cost to the wind and just try to do it. I might be a little more conservative on the financial end of things, but yeah, I wouldn't change much. It's been great, and it's just this, the one story I like to tell a lot, a good friend of mine, Zoomer Farrar, who's since passed away, he used to run Farrar Lumber, and I used to play golf with him. And I would say probably about 6 or 7 years into this thing, I said, when does it get to the point, that you get to relax a little bit? Because I always feel like I'm trying to get to the next level and trying to make ends meet. I said, when was it for you that you got to relax? And he laughed at me and he said, he goes, you're in business now, brother. You better get used to it, because it never changes. And ever since he told me that, that's kind of how I thought about it. So now, instead of feeling like we're not doing good enough just because we're struggling month to month and year to year, now that's just the way it is. And he's right, because if it always feels tentative to a point where there's always times throughout the year where I'm like, man, I don't know if we can even make it. But then you look back and you realize you've been doing it for 18 years. So that's just the way it is, I think, when you're in business, except for that's why I marvel at some people that seem to have a mastery of it and seem to make it look easy. But I think any business owner will tell you that it's one of the hardest things, that you could imagine doing, trying to run a business.
Yeah, I think that's why, like, the passion fuel is what you need, so that it can keep you going when it's like,
Yeah, I agree with
can't do this
that.
again.
I agree with
But-
that.
And then, you have a great team, and you have a great community to work in, and people really love what you guys do.
That's the other part of all these other businesses that we do. The ingredients are a passionate owner who is involved in the business, and people working within that business that are passionate about it. Those are the two key ingredients, to a good business: an involved owner and passionate, dedicated employees in key positions. That's what makes it work, I think. Josh, you want to go play golf right now, right?
I want to go
Yeah,
play
you
golf.
can go. You can go.
We good?
Yeah, you're teeing off in like 5 minutes,
yeah, I'm
right?
teeing off in like 5 minutes.
All right. Well, you.
Have fun.
Thank you very much, guys. It was
Yes.
fun.
See you, Josh.
Nice talking to you.
Yep. So yeah, I wouldn't change anything.
So I thought we should wrap up by letting you share a little, like, soup to nuts. What does FingerLakes1.com do?
Whew.
We're going to be a while.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think I'm sure there's people in the community that need your services. So let's tell them what they could
Yeah.
get from FingerLakes1.com.
We build websites and maintain websites and host websites. So, one of the challenges on that end is there's free website builders out there like Wix, and there's cheap hosts out there like Gator Host. So we'll never be able to compete like on the hosting side on pricing. So we have to deliver more service. So really what you get with us that you won't get from the national hosts or even some of the bigger web design firms in more metropolitan areas is when you call us, you're going to talk to the same people, and we know who you are and you know who we are, and we've been through a lot of battles before, I guess, and worked together on things. And so we really try to be what I tell a lot of customers, especially when I'm trying to maybe sell a new client on our services on that side of things, is think of us as your web department. We're not located in your facility, but we're just like your own personal web
Part of the
department.
team.
Yeah, and so I think that's something of value, especially to businesses here locally, and I really like that we can provide these services. And like I said, it's tough to compete on price on the hosting side of things, but on the web development side, I feel like we're almost a bargain. We try to price things in accordance with what we know a small business can afford. So it might not be the greatest business practice to look at a single individual who's starting a new restaurant or a new business and try to get the pricing into something that works for them, as opposed to a bigger, more established business where we might charge a little more, something in line with what should be expected. So it's nice and they're not always hits. There's a lot of misses where, we work with a lot of up and coming businesses, and when they do succeed and we're part of that, just that feels really good too. So, and then on the other side of things, like the news side of things, that's all advertiser supported. So we have a lot of promotional tools out there, from straight up display advertising to podcast sponsorships to we're doing more with sponsored or native advertising, in which we would put an article that's really an advertisement on our page as an article, noting it as being a sponsored content article. And our social media outlets have become we have so many followers on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, over 20,000 combined followers on social media, that that we too can roll that into packages, especially for events. If you have an event you want to sponsor or promote, we can offer a package that ties all that stuff together. So yeah, and video production too, which is something that kind of came about. A lot of our website customers need videos on their website, so we started doing that along with photography services and creating promotional opportunities through things that we do, like the high school basketball live streaming. That's a good fit for a lot of people, and a way to reach young people and their families and extended families. So we really do a lot of different things here.
You do.
So,
and I can say on behalf of the community, we all appreciate it. And again, congratulations to you and your whole team for being named the 2017 Seneca County Chamber Small Business of the Year recipient.
yeah, and thanks, Katie, for doing this. This is fun, being interviewed in our own studio. It's something different. Usually I'm on the other side of things. And I want to thank Jeff Shipley and all his employees at the Chamber, and Gene Pierce and all the board of directors at the Chamber of Commerce. Like I said, we don't do all this to get an award, but when you do, it was almost like a really nice surprise, and it was a great night last night at Miranda. And what a great,
it was beautiful.
What a great place that is, what Tom Miranda's done with that barn. He called it the event center at Miranda Cheese. It's a pretty cool place, and they actually have an event, I think, coming up on Saturday where they have a band.
Yeah, I love how the band is up above. That's really cool.
Yeah, so pretty cool, definitely. And thanks again, Katie.
You're welcome. Have a great day.